This is Radio Nepal. I am Dila Prasai with the news, the headlines first. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda stresses private sector's cooperation to relative prosperity in the country. Both chambers of Federal Parliament continue discussions on budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Department of Hydrology and Meteorology urges people to adopt caution as the Rai experiences severe heat waves. Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar defends Akhanda Bharat mural. And 11 people killed in a blast in southern Afghanistan. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda has said the country's prosperity is not achievable without the involvement and collaboration of the private sector. He said the government was ready to facilitate the private sector to resolve problems it is facing, commending the role of private sector to the economy. Inaugurating the Lumbini cable car service yesterday, the Prime Minister said he wished to take private sector together in a journey towards nation's development and prosperity. The Prime Minister also vowed to adopt necessary policies to regularize flights at Bhairawa and Pokhara-based international airports, promote hotel and tourism infrastructures, improve security arrangements, and lengthen the duration of visitor stay. Prime Minister Dahal clarified that there would be quality improvement in development and prosperity only if there is common determination. House of Representatives lawmakers have put forth their mixed views on the budget for the next fiscal year. The lawmakers stressed the need for implementing the budget, saying it reflected a preliminary model of socialism. They said the budget's effort to reform the country's financial system were positive. However, some lawmakers claimed that the budget failed to address the concerns of the private sectors and health sectors. They also commented that the budget was not a progressive one. Meanwhile, speaking at the 0 hours of the House meeting yesterday, lawmakers urged the government to issue the Federal Civil Service Act, determine uniformity in admission and tuition fees for students, and address the shortage of medicine and health workers. The National Assembly continues discussion on the budget for the upcoming fiscal year yesterday as well. Taking part in the discussions, the Member of Parliaments urged the government to correlate the government's policies and program and the budget. They also asked the government to dare to amend the budget based on the constructive suggestion furnished by the lawmakers, with taking steps to implement its positive aspects. Earlier speaking during the 0 hours of the upper house session, the lawmakers drew the government's attention to correcting the names of Nepali embassies in various countries and bringing out the facts related to fake Bhutanese refugee scam. The lawmakers also urged the government to provide relief packages to people suffering from drought and rising heat, arrange disaster risk reduction, and bring Hetomra cement industries into operation. Nepali Congress General Secretary Gagan Thapa has viewed that the country should exercise its rights by issuing a political and administrative map of Greater Nepal. Talking to media persons at Viratnagar Airport yesterday, Leader Thapa said Nepal should do in the context when neighbouring India issued its cultural map. On the occasion, he said that Nepal has its rights over Limpiadhura, Kalapani and Lipu Lake, and no one can take the Nepali territories. World Bank Vice President for South Asia Martin Reja called on Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Charan Mahat for holding discussions on Nepal's challenges to fiscal management as well as the new budget strategy and resource management. Minister Dr. Mahat's secretariat said issues related to projects prioritization, putting assistance in the productive sector and channeling the soft loan, among others, were discussed during the meeting held yesterday. On the occasion, the Finance Minister thanked the World Bank's representatives for taking a lead role in ensuring financial closure for the Upper Arun hydropower project. Likewise, the World Bank's Vice President Martin said they discussed reforms to drive economic growth and stability, putting into action Nepal's grid agenda and expediting project implementation. Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Sharan Mahat has said he is ready to extend full support to make the capital market healthier, comprehensive and more competitive and safer. In his address to the 31st anniversary of the Security Board Nepal in Kathmandu yesterday, Minister Dr. Mahat said it was the responsibility of the board to ensure the security of 5.6 million investors in the capital market. He advised the board to completely make its business paperless and ensure that no one is capable of taking unexpected gains in the share market. The Meteorological Forecasting Division under the Department of Hydrology and Meteorology has asked people to exercise caution in view of the possibility of a heat wave in the Tarai belt of the country for the next 4 days. According to the division, the temperature of the country is soaring to as much as 40 degrees in most parts of Tarai. The division officials said the temperature would continue as it takes some days for the monsoon to arrive this year. It has urged people to remain indoors as far as possible during the excessive heat, stay in cool places and wear protective clothes while walking out to avoid heat waves. The Tarai region of the country has been severely affected due to the heat waves for some days. The All Nepal Football Association has announced the Nepali national football team yesterday for the 14th edition of the Main SAF Championship to be held in India. Head coach of the Nepali national football team, Vicente Albert, announced a 23-member team for the tournament, which will be held from the 21st of June. Nepal will play its first match against Kuwait on June 21st, then against host India on June 24 and against Pakistan on June 27. Nepal has been elected as a member of the United Nations UN Economic and Social Council ECOSOC for the term 2024 to 2026. The permanent mission of Nepal to the UN in New York stated that Nepal is elected the ECOSOC member of the term with the highest number of 145 votes from the Asia-Pacific group from the elections held on June 8 in New York. With 145 votes, Nepal is elected as the member of ECOSOC for the term 2024 to 2026. You're listening to Radio Nepal 8 AM English News Bulletin. We continue with the international updates now. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has addressed the concerns surrounding the mural depicting the idea of Akhanda Bharat in the new parliament building and provided clarification on the matter. In response to concerns raised by India's neighbours, including Nepal, that the mural includes parts of their territory, Indian Minister Jaishankar, in a press conference on Thursday, said the mural depicted in the historic Ashoka period and the description both below the mural had stated the fact the Indian External Minister emphasized that the murals should be viewed in its historical context. An explosion inside a mosque in northeastern Afghanistan has killed 11 people and injured 30. Reports say several local Taliban officials were among those killed or wounded. A local official said the blast happened during a prayer service for the deputy governor of Badakhshan province, who was killed by a car bomb earlier this week. The Islamic State militant group said it carried out the car bomb attack. Thursday's explosion happened at 11 local time in the provincial capital, Faizabad. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today. Forecasting division says the weather is likely to be partly cloudy in the Koshi province along with the hilly regions of the country and many fair in the rest of the country. Isolated brief rain or thunderstorm showers are likely to occur at one or two places in the Koshi province and hilly regions of Gandaki province and Karnali province. Kathmandu's weather report now. Maximum temperature of 32.8 degrees Celsius and the minimum temperature of 18.8 degrees Celsius. With this news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap up the headlines once again. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda stresses private sector's cooperation to relative prosperity in the country. Both chambers of Federal Parliament continue discussions on budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Department of Hydrology and Meteorology urges people to adopt caution as the Rai experiences severe heat waves. Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar defends Akhanda Bharat mural and 11 people killed in a blast in southern Afghanistan. Well, that's all that we have for this edition. Our next English news edition is at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.radionepal.gov.np for more news and online programs. Stay tuned, stay safe and have a good day.